long ball number 2, Americans abroad. We have to check in on them a little bit. There's a special Club World Cup window coming up, and some Americans kind of jostling for where will they spend their World Cup build-up season. I think the storyline that kind of jumps out to me this morning is the rumor of Johnny Cardoso to Atleti in Madrid. Interesting. Obviously a frustrating player. We haven't seen the magic here for the national team, but has been doing pretty darn well, being considered for a top 3 team in Spain.
Yeah, disappointing end to the season for Real Betis with the loss in the Conference League final to Chelsea. They looked like they might be able to do it. They took the lead in that game and then just kind of folded. Cardoso was fine. I mean, he wasn't the problem. He did have a kind of a chance that he didn't take, although it was blocked. So it was a good defensive play on the Chelsea side. He is, he was reportedly earmarked for a move to Spurs, and Spurs even negotiated a 25 million euro fee for him with Betis. But this all comes down to whether he wants to go. You can't force the move. It's just not how football transfers work. So Johnny Cardoso has now decided he would rather go up the road to Madrid and play for Atleti than play for Tottenham Hotspur. And I cannot blame him at all. And apparently that option that Spurs have on Johnny Cardoso expires in a couple weeks. That's the report. He would be playing Champions League football. He'd be playing in one of the soccer capitals of the world. He would be playing for one of the great managers of the last 2 decades. He'd be playing presumably in a system that would benefit him the way that Atletico Madrid plays. This makes too much sense. And not that if he stayed at Betis, that would not be the end of the world. That's a very good team, and they've obviously done some things, and they've qualified for Europa League next year. But if Johnny Cardoso was elevating his game and moving up in the world, Atleti is an incredible place to go. The other thing is, obviously, as you mentioned, for the U.S. men's national team, it hasn't quite come to the fore. But as a fan of the U.S. men, we certainly want our players playing at the highest level possible. And hopefully what you see is Cardoso gets this move or something happens. He's playing for Atletico Madrid going into a World Cup where he figures to be a part of the U.S. men's national team effort.
Looking across the kind of the American player pool that's across Europe and overseas right now, is there any other players that kind of come into the scope? Like in the afternoons, has there been any more kind of juice on any players outside of Cardoso?
I mean, that's the thing. It's very quiet on that front. We've got Ricardo Pepi coming back from injury. He was one we thought might be moving on from PSV Eindhoven if he kept up his scoring exploits, but I think the injury has put a halt on that. Giovanni Reyna, it's crickets right now, Rob. I've heard nothing. I don't think anybody is talking a lot about his potential move, whatever that looks like. I mean, let's remember, you mentioned the special window for Club World Cup play, and everybody who has a Club World Cup team in that tournament, every league that has a team in that tournament has an open window for 10 days, except for Major League Soccer, who chose to limit it just to the teams involved. So I guess what we could say is like the window's not open yet. The real window's not open yet. Does the 10-day window mean anything? Well, it might for Trent Alexander-Arnold, who's going to Real Madrid. They're willing to pay a premium. I don't know why, but they're doing it because they really want him to come to America for some reason. I think there's rumors about Ronaldo signing with a different Saudi team so he could play in this Club World Cup. And I know you were talking about how thank you for doing the work. Rob said he was watching Gianni Infantino talk to iShow's Speed today, which is not something I signed up for. So I'm glad that you were doing that. And Johnny, of course, famously, he mentioned maybe Ronaldo could play in this tournament. I was like, what are you talking about? First of all, how would Gianni Infantino know? Because
I'm sure he's got phone numbers to Saudi Pro League teams, and it wouldn't surprise me if Ronaldo's in his phone. I wouldn't surprise me.
No, I'm sure he is, but it's all ugly and gross that Gianni Infantino has some insight as to whether a Saudi team is going to sign Ronaldo to play in this thing. And I'm sure, again, Johnny is so just blatantly greedy, money. This is his deal is to make this thing as big as possible. He knows Ronaldo has millions of followers, 1 billion followers around the world, and this might help the tournament. So if he can maneuver Ronaldo to a different team so he can play in this tournament, even though it kind of undermines the credibility of the tournament, if there is any credibility in this tournament, I mean, I guess, we're going to talk about how excited we are for the summer of soccer later. I think this might come up with that. Yeah, I don't know. Giovanni Reyna, nothing happening yet. Looks like, players like Serginho Dest is going to stay. Jedi Robinson had a lot of heat around a potential transfer. He just had surgery. It's why he's not with the national team this summer. Is something in the offing for him? He is not a young player, so it would be a team who wants to win now with one of the best left backs in the Premier League. I don't see any of the center back pool moving. It looks like Weston McKennie's going to sign a new contract with Juve, even though that's not done yet.
That's what I was going to chirp in with, was that we speculated, like, is he ever going to find a forever home? And if this extension that, by the looks of it, I'm looking at CBS Sports, they're saying that they're looking to extend him to 28, make him one of the highest earners. So that would move Weston McKennie away from the utility stopgap guy into a guy they think is a major piece, because he's kind of been kicking the can for the stopgap guy, and now he's becoming the guy, apparently, if it goes over the line.
Well, yeah, I mean, there is still the question of who is going to be the manager at Juve.
Yeah, and Pulisic's manager's out too.
Yeah, well, Conceição is out, and I've seen reports that Allegri's in, so that'll be interesting. I don't know if that's confirmed yet. It looked like Juve was lining up Antonio Conte, who obviously just won the Scudetto with Napoli, but apparently there's talk that he wants to stay in Naples. So if that is the situation, and it looks like Allegri is confirmed at Milan, so okay. What does that mean for Christian Pulisic is open, and obviously
Allegri plays with like 0 attacking players, right?
Doing the transfers, is Leao staying? There's a lot going. There's a lot that can happen. We just don't have a lot of smoke right now when it comes to moves.